Hey everyone, Bry here, and I want to bring you a video on Octopath Traveler Cotc about their step up this week. So what we have today is a free step up banner. We haven't seen one of those in a few weeks. So good stuff there. However, if you haven't seen my previous video, go check it out. I'm going to place a card here because it's all about inconsistencies, and they're still doing it. Now, I am going to say what's good and bad about this, or how I feel about this. And I also want to hear from you guys and see how you guys feel about this one as well. Because what's odd is you start with a 150, and that's cool. You know me. Like, if you've seen my previous videos, especially early on, you know that I've recommended this every step of the way. It's a half discount for a 300 ruby pull, and it's free. Like, you can use your free rubies on it. That good stuff. Okay? And I do understand that JP doesn't get the same royalties all the time, okay? And they should. Like, there should be no paywalls. Like, people are going to buy your stones regardless if there's a paywall or not. And it's like this company, and I'm going to get into it, loves to play this back and forth game. Like, and you're going to see it evolve as this video goes on. So we start with the 150 for step 1. That's great. But then step 2 is like a 300. Now, granted, it does come with the 20 stones or whatever. That's great. However, that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. And also, I want to point out, then the next step is 150. See what I'm saying about the inconsistencies and why you should go watch the previous video? This, to me, okay, so it used to be like a 150, a 200, a 250, okay? And that would reduce you by 300 rubies. And it's like this, you have a 300 ruby discount. So that is kind of missing. And which is whatever. But it's just, so the way they go about it is weird. Because, like, for me, it's going to put a stop at step 1. It's almost like they're doing it on purpose to see how far people will go. Because if you're willing to cross the threshold for the next step of 300 rubies, and those 20 stones are enough to entice you, it's like they're playing a psychological game with us and trying to get us to decide on how we're going to, like, they're going to go forward with this game and how we're going to go forward with this game. And they keep testing these waters, and it's kind of sketchy. But then step 3, you go back to the 150. So it's like if you did step 1, you did step 2, then they're really trying to step you up to the step 3 to see if you will hit that 150. Because at that point, shoot, that's only half summon. That's what people are going to think. You see, it's all messing with your mind. So, of course, you're going to get those first 3 steps out of the way, and then you're probably going to step at 4-5 unless you're a dolphin or a whale, and you really want this character. I'm going to recommend, now, looking at her stats and what she can do, she has, like, a wind damage, she can heal, she's an all-rounder, okay? She doesn't really excel in anything, okay? So, but like I said, she's an all-rounder. So, like, if you need that to fill the space, like the in-between, then she would be decent, okay? But is she meta-breaking? No, not even close. And I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't looked into the comparison. I can do a more in-depth, like, analysis on her later, but we're not going to get too into it. But she does have a single foe 3 times, and I did see somewhere that they pointed out that she didn't have that in JP, so that's a cool little upgrade for breaking with wind. But the problem with that is there's so many wind users, and if you have Odette, then, which was like, you could have summoned on her like a week or so ago and possibly got her. If you have Odette, you have one of the best light and wind users, period. Like, you're good. You're not going to need her to fill that role. And you more than likely have a dedicated healer. So, again, you're probably, that spot is filled. So But like I said, she's not awful. She's not the lowest of the low. But like I said, she's an all-rounder. She just fills gaps of missing units. Just, that's all you really need to know. Now, we're going to get into one thing. So they did this weird thing. It says Molrusso seal a 4.5 star for 100 of those shards or whatever, the seals. And it's like, okay, so what I could do is, it's like somewhat of a pity because, and you can only do it once apparently, for 100 of those points, which is like 2 rounds of the step 5, okay, that would give you enough to get her 4.5, but then you have to put in the work of actually getting those seal, those seal things to unlock her 5-star. So that's like not the biggest deal because you'll get them over time, but you won't be able to really immediately use her. Well, I guess you could, but she's nerfed at that point. So, but anyways, or you could go for the big 200 and get the 5-star. Now, it's kind of weird because it's like, depending on how many times you pulled, and I don't think you can do this like indefinitely, but let me double check here. And also at step 5, you're going to get that guaranteed. So if you make it all the way through on at least a go around, you're guaranteed something. But so why this is weird, it's like they're trying to test something. So like, he's gone, but Elfin, for example, he only needed 100. He needed 150 fragments, and the character previous to that needed 100. They were doing some weird stuff with Therion, and it was just like, I wish that 5-star was that 100. That right there would be kind of, I think, the sweet spot for everybody, is that if I could get through this 2 steps and trade in 100 points, if that was enough, I think everybody would be kind of happy with that. You know what I'm saying? It could justify going for it. In the enticement is that you actually have a 5-star instead of having to go through it 4 times to then get a 5-star. That's just kind of crazy, and that's a lot of rubies. So with this step up, it's somewhat in the right direction, but it's not. It's definitely better, but they're doing some weird back and forth stuff. And like I said, it just feels like they're really, really trying to test the market, maybe our patience as well. But that's all I wanted to point out for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.